The best speeches are those that sound as though the speaker is having a conversation with their best friend. That's because when you give a speech, you want your audience to trust you and you want your audience to be engaged. But that can only happen if you have first of all built rapport with your audience. And you can only build rapport with your audience if you deliver your speech as though you're having a conversation. In this series of videos, we have been reading the book Talk Like TED. And we have been going into each chapter and releasing videos so that as you watch them, you can learn the public speaking secrets that the world's best speakers use. In this video, we're covering chapter 3 of that book, Have a Conversation. When many people start out in public speaking, they deliver their speeches as though they were a performance, and there's a huge difference between what they sound like when they're on the stage compared to what they sound like when they're speaking in a usual conversation. And that's understandable, because when you're on stage, you're nervous, you're anxious, and you're conscious of the fact that all eyes are watching you and listening to every word that comes out of your mouth. But as difficult as it may be, it's worth practicing and it's worth working on, because being able to deliver a speech as though you're having a conversation is the difference between an average speaker and a phenomenal speaker. In this video, we're going to go through 3 points, 3 things that you can do to make your speeches sound authentic and conversational rather than sounding stiff and unnatural. Point number 1. Practice, practice, practice. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Surely, if I want to deliver my speech in a natural way, I should deliver my speech directly from the heart. Not necessarily. If you're speaking to your friend or a close relative, of course you don't have to practice in advance. But giving a speech on a stage is a much different situation. You're vulnerable. There are a million things that you're likely to be thinking about. Am I on the correct slide? Have I been speaking for too long or too short? What example did I want to give next? And thinking about these things can distract you from just telling your story in a natural way. If you practice, however, you can focus all your attention on being natural. Think of people who dance professionally or perform music. The ones who are really good are called naturals because they're able to do it seemingly effortlessly. I say seemingly because that's not the case. They don't have special powers and they weren't born like that. They only got to that level because they practiced. Practiced so much that what they do is second nature, and public speaking is exactly the same. Point number 2, pay attention to how you use your voice. When I say voice, I mean pace, pitch, and volume. In any speech, there are certain aspects of the speech that have to be delivered in a high pitch, fast and loud way. And there are other points of the speech that have to be delivered in a slow, quiet and lower pitch. Ahead of time, make sure that you've gone through your speech and identified these points accordingly. So, let me give you this example. I came out of my room and I opened the door and I saw a high-speed police chase. I saw 3 police cars weaving in and out of traffic, traveling at 100 miles an hour. Compare that to, I came out of my room, I opened my door and I saw a high-speed chase. I saw 3 police cars weaving in and out of traffic, traveling at 100 miles an hour. That example needs to be said fast, it's high energy, and you need to say it in a way that reflects the content. Another example. The saddest time in my life was when my dog died. I was depressed. I cried all day, and I found it very difficult to come to terms with the fact that I would never see my dog again. Compare that to, the saddest time in my life was when my dog died. I was depressed, I cried all day, and I found it very difficult to come to terms with the fact that I would never see my dog ever again. The second example, it sounds like I don't even care about my dog and I'm not concerned. That just doesn't match what I'm saying. To sound natural, to sound authentic, make sure that what you're saying matches how you're saying it. And that's when you'll be able to deliver a speech in a conversational way. Point number 3, use body language meaningfully. I'm just going to give a disclaimer here. Body language is a huge topic and we could spend a whole video. In fact, we could spend a whole series just covering body language. So instead of going into it comprehensively, I'm going to give you a gem, one of my #1 tips. Gesture with purpose. And what I mean by this is that when you're giving a speech and you're making several points, assign each point its own designated position on the stage. So imagine I'm giving a speech and I arrive at this point in my speech. There are two kinds of people in this world. There are people who start off by pouring cereal in their bowl followed by milk, and there are other people who pour milk in their bowl followed by cereal. The people who pour cereal in their bowl followed by milk are good people. They are people of focus, people of commitment, people of sheer will. The people who pour milk in their bowl followed by cereal are psychopaths. There are people who will betray you at your lowest point, and you would do very well to stay clear of these kinds of people. Obviously, I'm joking with the example to an extent, but the key point is, when I was speaking about people who firstly put cereal and then milk, I was on this side of the stage. And when I was speaking about people who pour in milk before cereal, I was on this side. And doing that makes you look more natural and more conversational. So the 3 points we've covered in this video are: #1, practice, practice, practice. #2, use your voice properly. Pay attention to how you use your voice. And #3, use meaningful body language. If you do these things, when you stand up and deliver a speech, everybody in your audience will feel as though you're having a one-to-one conversation with them. And that's what the best speeches sound like. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. Definitely follow us on Instagram, where we will be doing a live Q&A on the content discussed in this video. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments so that we can answer them. Until then, see you next time for chapter 4.